After 60, there are 5 unmistakable signs that reveal your woman has just slept with someone else. Believe me, her words might lie, but her body doesn't. The way she reacts every time you initiate intimacy tells the whole story. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, but what happens when doubt starts creeping in? In old age, you're noticing changes in her behavior, things that don't add up, and you're left wondering, am I overthinking this, or is something really going on? You think the worst pain is being betrayed, but it's not. The real agony is kissing lips that just touched another man, holding a body that no longer belongs to you, and not even knowing it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon. Today, I'll share with you 5 hidden signs that could show she's been with someone else. Signs that many older men miss, but should never ignore. These subtle clues can change everything about the relationship you thought you knew. And if you miss the signals, you become the quiet accomplice of your own humiliation. Before I walk you through these 5 signs, take a second to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification. And let me know in the comments what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this message is reaching, because betrayal speaks the same language no matter where you live. Let's dive into the first hidden sign that could indicate she's been with someone else. A sudden change in her behavior.
Number 1. A sudden change in her routine and behavior. As we age, relationships can become more stable and predictable, but when your partner suddenly begins changing her routine or behavior, it can feel like a shift in the foundation of your relationship, and not in a good way. For example, increased secrecy around her phone or computer can be a major red flag. If she starts suddenly hiding her phone, turning off notifications when you're around, or guarding her texts and calls more than usual, it's a sign that something's different. She might even be deleting messages or going out of her way to make sure you don't see who she's talking to or what she's been up to. Perhaps she starts spending more time away from home, or becomes increasingly busy with vague explanations. If she's going out more often without you, with friends you don't know, or even for business or hobby trips that seem to come out of nowhere, it can indicate she's distancing herself emotionally or physically from the relationship. Another subtle yet important shift is when communication slows down. If she used to send you regular check-ins, calls, or texts throughout the day, but now you're left waiting for replies that come later or not at all, it's an indication of emotional disengagement. She might tell you she's been busy, but her lack of attention could be a sign of emotional investment elsewhere. Finally, if you notice her social circles changing, with new people appearing in her life without explanation, or if she starts making plans without consulting you, it could be a sign she's opening up emotionally to someone else, pulling away from the relationship you've shared for years. These subtle changes in behavior could be the first signs that something is off. If you're noticing any of these shifts, it's time to pay closer attention. Now we move to the next sign, which often signals emotional or physical detachment.
Number 2. A sudden drop in intimacy. One of the most noticeable and painful signs that something is wrong in a long-term relationship is a sudden drop in intimacy.
After many years together, you might feel comfortable and secure in your connection, assuming that the intimacy you've shared over the years will naturally continue. But if she begins pulling away physically or emotionally, it's a major red flag. Rumi wrote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." For couples over 60, this pull toward what they really love sometimes leads away from physical intimacy, not always because of health issues or natural aging, but because of changing emotional connections and priorities. At this stage in life, intimacy isn't just about physical connection. It's about the deep emotional bond that has been built over time. If she suddenly seems uninterested in holding hands, cuddling, or even sharing meaningful conversations, it could signal that she's become emotionally disengaged. You may also notice her avoiding physical touch or even refusing intimacy when it's typically a part of your routine. This isn't always about a lack of physical attraction, but rather a sign that she may be emotionally disconnected or seeking intimacy elsewhere. Sometimes a lack of affection or emotional coldness is an early warning sign that a deeper shift is happening. Additionally, if she started to seem more distant in your interactions or appears to have shut down emotionally, that can often coincide with a loss of intimacy in the relationship. She may no longer confide in you like she once did, or there may be a noticeable lack of enthusiasm when you try to engage in meaningful conversations. This emotional distancing often precedes physical distancing. For many couples, intimacy after 60 can evolve into something more emotionally and spiritually meaningful. When a partner begins to withdraw, it's often a sign that they're seeking that closeness elsewhere, or worse, no longer feel they can connect with you in the same way they once did. Have you noticed a drop in intimacy with your partner recently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You're not alone, and your experiences could help others who are dealing with similar changes. A drop in intimacy can be painful and confusing, but it often points to deeper emotional shifts. We take a closer look at another significant sign: unexplained changes in her emotional energy.
Number 3. Unexplained changes in her emotional energy. A sudden shift after 60 in her emotional energy can be one of the most telling signs that something is changing in your relationship, often indicating that she may have found an emotional connection outside of the relationship. You may notice that she seems distant or unavailable, especially when you need her emotional support or connection the most. Instead of feeling like you're her priority, you might sense a detachment. She might be more irritable, indifferent, or preoccupied. The spark that once brought warmth and comfort to the relationship may seem dimmed, leaving you questioning what happened to the closeness you once shared. This is exactly what happened to my friend David, who started noticing that his wife Sarah seemed distant and disconnected in ways that he couldn't explain. David had been married to Sarah for over 40 years, but over time he noticed a change. Sarah, once his emotional support, became irritable and withdrawn. She stopped sharing her day or feelings, and when David tried to engage her, she brushed him off, claiming to be emotionally drained. He soon realized Sarah was turning to friends and family for support, and her attention was no longer focused on him. The most painful moment came when she started talking to someone else about her problems, someone other than him. David felt like an outsider in his own marriage, as her emotional investment clearly shifted away from him.
What's even more concerning is when she starts turning to other people for emotional support. If she's suddenly spending more time with friends or family members, or even talking to someone else about her thoughts, feelings, and problems instead of confiding in you, it could be a sign that she's emotionally investing elsewhere. Another subtle sign is when she seems more emotionally drained or stressed, but you're no longer the one she turns to for comfort. This withdrawal from emotional intimacy can often precede physical detachment, as emotional connection is the foundation of physical closeness. Does she seem to be avoiding intimacy rather than simply having less interest in it? Because these patterns often connect to our next important observation about changing life priorities.
Number 4. Sudden secrecy or guarded behavior. In long-term relationships, the expectation is that both partners are open with each other. But if she starts to hide things or keep certain aspects of her life private, it could signal that she's emotionally distancing herself, or worse, involved with someone else. For instance, if she begins spending more time on her phone or computer and quickly hides the screen when you walk into the room, it's a red flag. If she's always been open about who she's talking to or where she's been, this sudden need for privacy could be a sign of emotional detachment or even infidelity. You might also notice her becoming vague or evasive when you ask simple questions about her day, her plans, or her activities. If she starts making up excuses or giving inconsistent answers, it's often a sign that she's hiding something. And if she becomes defensive when you ask about these things, you may be dealing with someone who is avoiding the truth. Changes in her social life are another sign. If she starts going out more without you or talking about new people or friends you've never met, it could indicate she's emotionally investing elsewhere. The secrecy surrounding her whereabouts or interactions could be the first sign that something is shifting in the relationship after 60. Be sure to hit the like button, share it with others who might find it helpful, and subscribe for more insights. The changes in secrecy or guarded behavior can often be the first sign of emotional distancing. But there's another critical sign that something is shifting in the relationship after 60.
Number 5. A sudden change in communication patterns. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." For people over 60, one of the most striking signs that something may be wrong in a relationship is a sudden change in how your partner communicates with you. In long-term relationships, communication often flows naturally, and when it changes, it's usually a sign that something deeper is happening. You might notice that she's become shorter in her responses, or perhaps she's avoiding deep conversations that used to come easily between you. If you've always shared your thoughts and feelings freely, but now when you try to open up, she seems distant or uninterested, it can signal emotional withdrawal. Another red flag is when she becomes defensive or closed off when you ask simple questions. Communication that used to be comfortable and open can suddenly feel like an effort, with her giving evasive answers or brushing off your concerns. She might even avoid making eye contact, or even turn the conversation back on you, making you feel like you're the one in the wrong. Another common pattern to look out for is defensiveness.
When you ask her simple, everyday questions like, "How was your day?" or "What's been on your mind lately?" and she seems more defensive or brushes off your concerns with frustration or irritation, it can be a sign that she's emotionally checked out or possibly distancing herself from the relationship. She might even turn the question back on you, making you feel guilty for simply trying to connect. What's particularly concerning is if she suddenly starts avoiding vulnerability. If she no longer shares her feelings, dreams, or fears with you, things that used to be a natural part of your relationship, this emotional wall could be a sign that she's already mentally or emotionally investing elsewhere.
As we reach the end of our exploration, I want you to understand something that could transform how you approach relationship concerns in your mature years. Recognizing these signs isn't about becoming suspicious or controlling. It's about developing the emotional intelligence to understand what's really happening, so you can respond with wisdom rather than fear. The 5 signs we've explored, whether it's a sudden change in behavior, a drop in intimacy, emotional withdrawal, or guarded communication, all point to deeper emotional shifts that shouldn't be ignored. Men after 60 face the same choice you face when you notice concerning changes. Respond with fear and control, or respond with wisdom and understanding. The men who chose wisdom were able to either work through the changes constructively or recognize when the changes indicated that the relationship had run its natural course. But your worth and happiness don't depend on someone else choosing to remain connected to you. They depend on your ability to recognize what's happening clearly, respond with dignity and wisdom, and make decisions that honor both your need for authentic connection and your right to be valued and respected in any relationship you choose to maintain. If you're noticing these signs, don't ignore them or explain them away, but also don't jump to conclusions or respond with accusations. Instead, have honest, caring conversations about what you're observing and how it's affecting you. Create opportunities for your partner to share what's happening in her inner world, and be prepared to make difficult decisions about what you're willing to accept and what you need to thrive in your remaining years. Don't forget to hit the like button, share it with someone who could benefit from this message, and subscribe to the channel for more relationship wisdom after 60. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and be sure to comment below with your thoughts and experiences. I'd love to hear how you've navigated similar changes in your relationships. This is Vernon. Thank you for watching till now, and see you next time.